In this episode, we are going to use the knowledge from the previous episode to model a product, this Coca-Cola can, from scratch. I hope you enjoy this process. So stay tuned and prepare your mind that this is actually simple and easy to model. We are going to make everything from scratch, and I'll urge you to follow the process. And after modeling it, just render it out, share on your Instagram page, and tag me at NextGod Creations. If you need any guidelines, just text me on the same page and I will give you the support that you need. So let's start a new project. So I'll go to File, New, then I'll choose Genre. So now, as usual, Brenda will give us this cube. So I need to delete it and start everything from afresh. So I'll press E. E is simply means select everything. So after pressing E, I'll press my delete key and it will delete. So let me see something. This is the label that we are going to use for the 3D can, and I'll share it with you under the description. So let's look at something. Before you start any project, you have to first of all find a reference image. And I usually find this reference image on Pinterest. Yeah, so this is the reference that I got on Pinterest. So I've downloaded one. So let me just open it. Yeah, so this is the reference that I have downloaded on Pinterest. So before you start modeling, if you look at the can, it is in the form of cylinder, which is a circle. So I'll head over to Blender, and the first thing that I'll do is go to Add, Mesh, then I'll scroll through then say cylinder, because cylinder is the only thing closer to the shape of the can. I'm going to use a lot of shortcuts in this episode. So follow along. So I'm going to press numpad 1 to go to the front view, or you can select the Y negative like this and to go to the front view. Then using the plus icon, I will zoom it a bit like this. So now if you look at the cylinder, it's like it is too short, but when you look at this one, it is too long. So let's make our cylinder very long. So I will select a cylinder like this, then I will go to the scale tool. Then I need to scale it along the Z axis, which is actually the blue axis. So I'll select this blue line, then I'll drag it up like this. Now let's go to our reference image. It is okay, but we need to scale it from the S axis. Our can need to be a bit fat. So I'll come back to my Blender and I'll select the white one. Then I'll scale it up like this. Then I'll select the Z axis rather. Let me go to the Y negative, zoom out like this. Then I'll bring it down. Then I'll select the white up, then the Z axis like this. So now let's look at what we have here. Yeah, so this actually look closer to the can that we are trying to model. So now let's look at something. If you look at the edges here, this part is a bit slanted, like it is scaled out. So what we are going to do now is we need to cut this part so that you'll be able to extrude it outside. Then you scale out the upper part and the bottom part. So let's do it. It is actually simple. So I'll select my can, and remember I said if you want to have more controls over your shape, you need to go to the edit mode. So after selecting my cylinder, I'll go to the object mode, click on it, then change it to edit mode. You can do that with your tab key. If you select the object, then you press your tab key to go to edit mode. And you see there are lines here. So these lines are actually called loops. They are loop cuts. So we are going to create a loop cut for this cylinder. If you look at it, there are only loop cuts running vertically. There is no loop cuts for horizontal part. So we are going to create the sum for the horizontal part. So you can do that by looking to the edit. You see there are plenty tools in the edit mode. So if you look through, you see something like loop. So and then the shortcut is Ctrl R. So you can either look for this one or you can press Ctrl R. The moment you press Ctrl R, you see if you bring it closer to your object to draw a line, this loop, this is actually called a loop cut for the horizontal aspect. I'll just click on it. Then I'll click again. You see, now I have a loop cut for the horizontal aspect. Let's go to our can again. I need the one loop cut to be here, this part, the top part, and 1, 2 to be at the bottom part, because if you look at it, it starts to slope around these edges. And a simple way to do that is using bevel, which is Ctrl B. So I press Ctrl B, then I'll push my mouse, I'll drag my mouse, you see, and at this point I will leave it. I'll click on it, then it will create it for me. So if you look at the can, you see this is where the line is. You can see this line, and at the bottom you can see this line to this. So this is what you just created. So now let's reduce the size of the top part to get this slant portion. So I'll go to my face select mode. I have to select the top, rather the top face, then the bottom face, holding shift. Now select it. Then using the scale tool, I will select the white part, then I'll scale it down like this. So if you look at this, it looks closer to this here, but then ours is very short, so you need to make it a bit longer. So I'll select the top part, only the top part, then I'll go to my move tool. So the shortcut for that is G. Then I'll drag it upwards like this. Then I'll do the same thing for the bottom. So using the face select mode, I'll select it. Then using the blue arrow, which is the Z arrow, I'll bring it down like this. So now we are creating something. It actually looks a bit like the can, but there's small thing that we need to add. So now what I'm going to do is, using the same face select mode, I'll select the top part. Then I hope you remember the extrude that I talked about. Either you right click, then you say extrude, or you press E. If you press E, you see it can be extrude up. The moment you press E, just press escape. Then you want to resize it. So I'll look through for my scale tool, which is this one, or simple press S. Then holding the white part, I'll scale it up like this. Then I'll press on E, which is extrude. Then I'll bring it up like this. Then I hope you also remember the extrude inner, which is I. So I'll press on it, then I'll extrude inner like this. Then E, which is extrude, then I'll come down like this. Now I need to get the good topology. So I'll press inner extrude again, bring it here. I, inner extrude again. I want to get 3 loops here. Something like this. Then I'm going to apply the same method to the bottom part. I will select, using the face mode, I will select it. Press E. If you drag it down to extrude, but then press escape. Then I'll go to my scale, which is this one. Then pressing on the white part, I'll scale it up a bit. Let me bring the mouse down. Then I'll press on E, extrude it to this part. Let me do it like this. Then I, which is extrude inner, I. Then I'll extrude inner like this. Then I'll press on E, which is extrude. Then I'll extrude it inside like this. And because of I want to get a good topology, we can bring it up at the Z axis. Because I want to get a good topology, I'll need to do some inner extrusion. So I want 3 loops here, like how I did for the top part, like this. So now let me exit from the edit mode to object mode. Now it looks like a can, but then it looks a bit rough. So we are going to add a modifier to it to make everything smooth. So if you look at the right here, you will see something like a spanner, which is actually the modifiers. I'll click on it. Then I'll go to add. Then I'll search for subdivision. So add. Then I'll search for subdivision modifier. So if I search for sub, I'll see it like this. Then I'll increase the distance, the levels, the number of cards for the views to 2 like this. So you see now it looks something closer to the can. Or you can simply select the object, then press Ctrl 2. It will give you the same thing. But now let's make it a bit realistic by going to the edit mode again. So after selecting it, I'll go to object, edit mode. So now we are going to add some loop cuts to it. So I hope you still remember the shortcut, which is Ctrl R. Or you can scroll to the edit tools. There you see loop cuts. Then I'll click on it. So now we are going to create one loop around here so that the edge, this part will show very well. So I'll click, without releasing my hand, I'll drag it up like this. Hope you've seen what is happening. Let me exit the edit mode. You see now the shape here is appearing very sharper. Let me go back to the edit mode. I'm going to do the same thing to this side. I'll click, bring it down like this. Sorry, Ctrl Z to undo. Like this. I'm going to do the same thing to this part. Click and drag it down. And now I'm going to do 1, 2 here. And I'm going to do another 1, 2 at this part. So now let me exit the edit mode and see what I've just done. So now if you look at it, you see we now have the shape of a Coca-Cola. So the last thing that I'm going to do is I'll select my model, then right click, then I'll click on shade smooth. So now you see I have my Coca-Cola can. This is just the model. So let me go back to my reference image so you can see they actually looks the same thing. So this is how to do a simple model. So it's just about extruding, inner extrude, the extrude SF, and adding some loop cuts. Hope at this point you've gotten it. So in the next episode we are going to look at texturing, where we will be adding the label and colors to this Coca-Cola can. See you in the next episode.